to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see. And if so, please do subscribe, give it those thumbs up. It's very important for the video to circulate. And of course, by subscribing, it helps to grow the channel. And if you do, don't forget to hit that bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. Thank everybody for your comments and your questions and your suggestions. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for being here with me. Today we're going to create, as you can see here, I've already started because I always put myself to the test, of course. So this pattern that I'm creating is going to be a table runner with flowers. Now, you can do table runner, you can do doily, as in square only. Use it on the living room, bedroom, depending upon the colors that you would like to have it displayed with your decorations matching. This also would be perfect for a tablecloth for a square table. It is gorgeous. It's very simple to make. Of course, you know, if you go bigger on the thread, the bigger your flowers, so your production is faster. But if you want something very delicate and charm, then you have to go with a smaller thread. This is size 4, 100% cotton, purple. Of course, we have many different shades of purple, right? And I've also used lavender, which is a perfect combination. I'm still debating if I'm going to put white around it at the end. I'm going to do the table runner with it. Very simple to make. Just have to be intentional on the attachment here on the pattern with the 4 flowers. Now, this has a story to it. In a lot of my videos, you hear me comment a lot, a shout out to my girls, my favorite girls from the crochet groups, which I mentioned many times on many videos. Karen Coffey and Karen Young. Karen Coffey is the owner of Crochet Therapy, one of the best crochet therapies out there, in my personal opinion. I'm sure everybody has their own. And Karen Young, she's the mother for the group. Amazing women, love them to pieces. So a few days ago, Karen reached out and asked me, oh, I'd like to put you through the challenge. What about creating a table runner just with flowers? I said, but I already have a tutorial on that, the green and cream one. She says, no, a different one like the ruby table runner. So for some of you that follow me, you know what the ruby table runner looks like. It's very delicate. There's a lot of flowers on it, but there's the centerpiece that's almost like a 3D centerpiece. So you might want to look that up, table runner ruby. So this is the flower from the table runner ruby, exactly the same. And it's got the same strings. Of course, it's got a middle piece, so it's not attached the same way. So I took in man. She says, I challenge you to make a table runner with the ruby flower. And so here I am. So I've creating the table runner with the ruby flower. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope, Karen, I did justice on this challenge for you. And let's all enjoy creating it. So thank you so much, everyone. Needle number 3, you'll need a pair of scissors, and definitely you will need a small little needle, because it's important when we're going to have that little trick to attach these little flowers. In a lot of tutorials, I'm sure out there, even myself back then in the days when I was young and we were creating attaching flowers to, and so on and so forth, we'd have the habit of making little circles. I'm sure a lot of you remember little circles, and then we'd attach the little circles into our patterns. Well, I didn't want that. I mean, I've created that so many years ago. I didn't want to have that triple work of creating little circles and then attaching. I wanted to, as I go and create and attach, I don't want to let go of my thread or my needle as I'm attaching. So here it is. And It's just gorgeous. Now, if you're doing a tablecloth with this, can you imagine like a white, silky thin tablecloth underneath, or lace in white, and having this on top? I mean, it's like, wow, to the T for sure. Okay, people, so we're going to get started. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to get a little bit up closer. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to slip stitch knot. We're going to do 5 chain, not counting the slip stitch knot. So after we do the slip stitch knot, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. I just want to focus a bit, not too much though, because I noticed that the app that I'm using now, it does its own focus already. So we're going to go into the first chain, not the slip stitch, not the first chain right after, and we're going to create another 5 chain. Now inside of this little circle here, we're going to do 12 double crochet with 2 chain separation. So very simple, nothing to it. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 9. 10. Now you want to just give it a little push on it back so you can fit the other ones. 11. And on the third space, we're gonna, oh, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 2 chain. And on the third space, we're gonna close it in with slip stitch. Now we just fix our little double crochets here a bit, so just so they are not all crumpled up in one place. So this is very simple to create. 1, 2, 3 chain going up. Inside of the space, we're going to do 3 double crochet and 1 on top of the double crochet from the previous row. So we have 3 inside. We're going to do another one on top of the double crochet, 3 inside of the space again, and we're going to do it this way all the way around. And then again, 3 inside of the space. Now, of course, you can mix colors. You can do it all in one color. I mean, the choice is yours. But I think it looks pretty gorgeous when you can mix a light and a darker shade to it. Okay, so 3 inside, 1 on top of the double crochet, and we're going to proceed all the way to the end. So we've arrived at the end. We're going to close it on third space here with a slip stitch. If you're changing thread, we're going to cut our thread. We're going to tuck it in. A few spaces here and there. I like to knot all my patterns. Most of you know that by now. And for the newcomers, well, I guess you will know now, I like to knot most of my loose ends just to make sure that nothing comes apart. So it's always good that when you're cutting your thread, you leave a little bit to give it that nice little touch up of a knot. So I made my knot, and I'm just gonna hide a little bit of the thread left over. That's why it's always good to have a small needle, because then you don't have to go in with a thick needle and make your stitches loose, and then you give it a nice little stretch out. Because at the end of it, since the hole here is not that big, and I don't want it that big, well, it tends to curve up a bit. But once we have it all together, we're going to press it at the end. Well, you're going to press it, and it becomes all nice and straight. Okay, so now we grab our lavender. And it's always best that you prepare like a bunch of them like I did here. And then, you know, you're ready to use your next color, so you don't have to keep going back and forth on it. So slip stitch knot. Now, where we have that double crochet, we're just going to go right over on top here, and we're going to close it in with single. Try to hide our thread at the same time. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip a space. We're going into the next one. 2 chain, skip a space, into the next one. And why we did 5? Because 3 is for the double crochet and 2 separation. 2 chain separation, skip 1 into the next one. 2 chain separation, skip 1 into the next one. 2 chain separation, skip 1 into the next one. And we're going to do that all the way around to the end. So at the end, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 2, 20, 24 double crochets with 1 space separation, 2 chain. So you have to have a total of 24, or else it's going to be impossible to add your flowers, okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Now you've reached the end. You did your 2 chains. You're going to come on the 3rd space here. Slip stitch. Like that. Now you're going to go inside, single, 2 chain. We're going to do a group of 3 double crochet. That's including with the first one. 2 chain separation and double crochet. 2 chain, another double crochet. That's 3. So we're going to have a group of 3, 2 chain, and 3. Next space, we're only going to single. Next space, we're doing the groups again of 3 double crochet, separated by 2 chains. And again, so you're going to have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're going to have 12 of these leaves, petals, if you want to call them. Okay, so how are we going to add this on? It's a little bit tricky to add on, and I'll tell you why. Because this is directly from the flower. So either you have 2 options to do it. Either. So you do your single, and you do your 3 double crochet. Okay, and now you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You could either do it this way. Now you're going to come back on the first one, slip stitch, second one, slip stitch, third one, slip stitch, and on the fourth one, slip stitch. Come back and finish to do your 3 double crochet. The option will be up to you, whatever's best you think it is to do it. And again, next space, single. And again here, we're going to add. So 3. So you know to do your adding, you're always going to have 2 added and one string. 2 added and 1 string. Okay, you can do it that way, and of course you have to see. I mean, you're not going to do the edges a string because they stay edges, but anything that's inside, that's the way it's going to be. Now, I'm going to show you also the other way that you can add these on. Okay, so as you see, I don't have any strings here, right? There's no strings on these ones. So we have 2 added. We know that a string had to come here because these 2 here are for my adding, right? And this one would have to have a string also because these 2 are for my adding. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add this one here, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from, since I'm showing you the 2 ways you can go about. So we're going to do the 3 double crochet, 1 single, and again 3 double crochet. We're going to grab back to back on the other, right? We attached it here, so now we need to attach it into the next one with a single. Come back and do our 3 double crochets. Single, and we create our groups again. So we're going to do this like this now until the end. Now, let me explain something to you. So we know that it's 2 attachments. So I'm not attaching anything here on this side. That means I don't have to do any strings. So after here, you know that the next one here will need a string, right? So I'm going to get to here when we're just about getting here. I'll show you again. We'll do the string. And then I'll show you the other way that you don't need to do any strings, but as you're creating the flower, you attach it onto the pattern. So whatever way makes you more comfortable. And trust me, I had to break my head with this one in order not to create any little circles to put in between the pattern here. I wanted free of that, so I had to come up with plan B, right? I guess that's part of the designers and creations. It's the only way to go about. Okay, so I'm gonna continue mine until I hit here to do the other string. Okay, so we're almost hitting there because we're supposed to leave 2 free to attach into the next flower, right? Now we're almost arriving there, so we're gonna do again. Obviously one will be empty because we need to do the single in here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to come on our first one here. We're going to slip stitch, slip stitch, slip stitch, and slip stitch. We continue doing our group. coming to do our single, and on the third space we close it up with slip stitch, and we cut our thread. Just turn it this way so you can see what it looks like and what I'm talking about, because I know it's probably gonna seem like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Okay, so basically we know that we need to make 2 more. I don't have it here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. I've already created this one. So that means on these flowers here, as you're creating them, 2 attachment, and then you come and you attach it if you already have it. You attach and then you create the next one, and then you attach, and so on. This one here is for the next bottom one to be attached. So I prepared that already. So I'm going to build up my next flower and show you if you're not doing this and you want to just continue on from there as you're creating your flower, then there's the other way to do it that I figured it out without, in case I forget to create that chain there. You got to come up with ideas when you forget certain things behind and how you're going to do it, you know. You have to use your head a little bit, your brains, and break them a bit and figure out how you're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to create again another flower. So we need to do our 5. That's 3 with a single, 4, and 5. Skip one, going to the next one. Two separations, skip one, going to the next one. And anyway, so you create all of these and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I pretty much finished doing a few of them. As you can see, I have no strings on them. Now, I'm going to attach it here. Not this one, because this one's supposed to be for the string, right? So I'm going to attach it on the third one here. And when I say third, because if you count from the one that's attached, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm going to attach this one. And trust me, I had to break my head with this, trying to figure this one out. This is out of my own creation. So, I mean, I'm not saying that maybe somebody else hasn't invented out there. Maybe they have, but I have never seen it. And just telling you that I came up with it on my own, out of my own head. So it's kind of exciting when you can create something different than everybody else. Okay, so we're going to continue on to the next one. Okay, so now we're on our third one because we have already. Now we don't have any chain to attach to, right? So we're going to do 6 chain. Okay, well, actually, you know, we're doing the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we are doing to attach, even though we don't have any attachments there yet. And 6th one, which will be like the middle piece to attach all other 3, okay? And then we're going to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as if it's the other chain. From here, we're going to close it in with single. So now here is where I come in with a smaller needle, and I'll tell you why. I don't want big holes. I'm going to walk through it. I call it the walk, slip stitch until the 6th one. So 1, and like this, you won't have big holes, and it's all thin. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're going to have the perfect height, okay? Now, I'm going to change my needle again, and I'm going to create 5 more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come to my next flower where I don't have any string, and I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to grab my thin needle again, and I'm going to walk through it to the middle again. So first chain, slip stitch, that's 3, 4, 5, and I'm on the middle, 6th. Now, so we are in our 6th one. We are going to grab the one that we just did here. Make sure it's all grabbed in the center, slip stitch through it. I'm going to walk back into the flower that I am creating by slip stitch all the way back to my flower. I'm going to change my needle, and I'm going to continue my work. Oops. Next space single, and you continue to do your groups. Now you can do it this way, or you can do it by counting the 2 attachments. And we're going to attach it here. And here it is, as you can see. Perfect. We're going to continue to attach it on here, the pattern. And like I said, you can do it this way, or you can do it by skipping 2, that you know that it needs to be attached to the pattern, and you do your 5 chain, come back, walk it through to the flower, and continue doing your flower. Choice is up to you. Okay, so we're going to attach the next one. Now we know that this one here is going to be attached to all of the 3 flowers, right? Whatever you think is more comfortable for you, that's the way you're going to work it, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to grab my small needle to attach it here because I don't want a big hole from a big needle. So I'm just going to close it in, and I am going to walk through it with my small needle with slip stitch because I don't want big holes on this chain. And then I continue on. Very simple, nothing complicated. So it's going to be a very fast video. Then you do your 2 chain separation. You continue on your groups until the end. last one. We know it's a single, and we close it in. So pretty much this one is already ready to be attached to the other two flowers by doing the chains like I told you as you're going. So you skip two and you do the chain. So you know you need to do, depending how, if you're in the center of your pattern, you have to do like 4 chains to cover up each corner. Or if you're doing by rows, then you know you need to do 2. You're going to 2 attachment. On the third one is string. 2 attachment. On the third one is string. So, and that's how it's going to go. So this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to add more until I'm going to wrap it up with the squares here. And then I'll show you how I'm going to do the ending in a triangle at the edge of the table runner. Stay tuned for that.